So this is my actual contract. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I got my job in Germany as a foreigner. I have prepared a few questions that I might have asked when I was in your situation. So let's start right away. What is your background? So I grew up in South Korea and came to Germany when I was already 22, 23, and I didn't speak any German. So I visited language course for about a year and then started with a university right away. I did my bachelor's degree in physics, which was in German, and master's degree in astrophysics, which was in English. I would love to share more information about studying in Germany as a foreigner, but that will be a topic for a different video. What is your job? So I work as a software consultant in a German company. So my clients are other German companies who need to manage a large amount of employees, and they need help for the personal management. My assignments are usually consulting. Of course, I have meetings regularly with clients, and I also set up the program, customize it, do some programming, and also give workshops to the end users to teach how to use the program. How did you get your job? I was seeking jobs on websites such as Stepstone, Indeed, and LinkedIn. I would recommend to make an account in LinkedIn if you're trying to find a job in Germany, because a lot of German companies and Germans use this platform. I also heard that some people got headhunted through this platform. So in my case, a friend of mine sent a link to the job that applied eventually. So that's how I got my job. How was your application process? For the application, you usually need 3 documents: Lebenslauf, in English resume, Anschreiben, application letter, and Zeugnis, which is the certificate of your educational background. So after sending my application, I got an invitation to the first interview over Zoom. That was quite casual. It was more like a getting know each other conversation, nothing too formal. After that, I got invitation again for the second interview, this time in the main office building. And this was more formal. So I got inside and I was told that the chef wanted to have a chat with me first. So I went into his office and we had a chat, and that was also very casual, like getting to know each other. And he was interested in what I wrote in my bachelor thesis or master thesis, and it turned out that he also studied physics, which I found cool. The main interview was in another room. This was more formal. I remember I got really excited to see all the drinks prepared. There were various drinks like apple juice, orange juice, sparkling water, non-sparkling water, coffee, and yeah, I was just excited to have so many drinks during the interview. I had 2 interviewers. One of them became my mentor, which means I work for him. And the questions were more formal. They asked about my educational background, what I wrote for my master thesis, and asked questions about the topics. And also questions like, can you travel a lot? Because as consultant, you have to travel time to time or often. I remember answering, well, I don't have any dogs, so I think it is possible. And also questions like, oh, I see the grade in this subject is quite low. What happened? Yeah, and I told I didn't study enough. And after the interview, I was left alone for like 5 minutes. they wanted to discuss alone. And then the chef came into the room and shook my hands and said, we would love that you work with us. And later that, my mentor, the other interviewer, came with the Vertrag contract. So yeah, I went home on the same day with the contract. Do you have to speak German? Yes, I am working in a German company that works with other German companies, so everyone speaks German. I imagine it would be hard to find a job in Germany without any German knowledge. If you are trying to find a job in science area or in big cities like Berlin or München, then there might be opportunities to work in like international companies. But I would recommend to learn German. I do not speak like native speaker, of course, but I can speak just enough to communicate with others and share information. How does it work with visa? So after graduating German university in Germany, you will have 18 months of time to find a job or do freelancing to prove at the end that you can support yourself in Germany and pay tax. There are a few restrictions, of course. The job has to be relevant to your study. For example, I studied physics. I cannot work in a fast food restaurant full time, which will allow me to support myself, but the Ausländerbehörde will not acknowledge it. So keep that in mind. So after getting a job, I applied for work visa, which I have to renew it also every year, like a student visa. And I found out that I was qualified for blue card visa, which is a type of visa for qualified employees in Germany. So I switched it. So how is it working in a German company? How many vacation days I have, sick leaves, how long is probation period. I will go into these topics in the next video. So stay tuned and see you next time.